see Alexandru. He wanted to. Alexandru is surely Romanian. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Question.
I'm curious. Thank you for the wonderful story you told us about Zamolxe.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated to hear the correlation because I actually thought about it myself past
Yes.
2 months ago when I first read Legile Belagine, the
Yes.
actual document he put out when he came out of the cave and instituted the first cultural civilization that was part of the Thracian Empire, an empire that was
Yes.
basically owned and ruled and very wealthy based on merchants, not on warriors. We never conquered.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for the story. But what I wanted to ask you is part of this tradition, actually. What do you know about the importance of water as an alchemical element transmuting the energy of life towards the body aspect, as you mentioned? With a
Right.
small addition, the cave you mentioned earlier for a priest, for a high priest to get in the final initiation was actually always near a creek, a falling creek. So that's what I'm asking you this question. Why, how, and why is water important to this process? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. It's an awesome question that I was getting to, but the fact that you've asked it is even better. Water is crucial. We're 90% or more than 90% water at a molecular level. I know cellular level is 70, 80%, but at molecular level is more than 90%, which means we're basically water creatures. We're made of it. And there's an important documentary that Nassim Armin and other scientists are always mentioning about a Nobel Prize winner, Professor Montagnac, who has discovered that it's actually water that constructs the DNA or shapes the DNA, right? So that's the importance of water. The DNA is the very code of creation, right? The very base of creation in our system. It's the main core program, if you will. I'll get to you in a second. I'm just downloading information. Just hold on. It's crucial, and access to clean water, drinking clear water, especially during pranic processes or this journey of uplifting our frequency, is essential. Water is transporting information at a very high level, so really important to have awareness of what we talk and emanate around water, our water in our house or the waters in our planet. If you're near a water, pay attention to your thoughts, because everything you think, the water is gonna be imprinted with. The documentary I'm referring to is actually called The Memory of Water. So water has memory, water has consciousness, water has the ability or feature of changing molecular structure according to what we emanate, what energy there is around it. Thank you. Yeah, Luc Montagnier is the. Thank you so much. Luc Montagnier is the professor that has discovered the stuff. And thank you, Jacob, for placing it in the comments. So you have the documentary in the comments. It is essential of having, thoughts of love, imprinting the water on the planet with beautiful thoughts and beautiful energy. Like I always emanate golden energy or rainbow energy or pink love energy instantly without even thinking it when I'm around water. And the water is always as well nourishing and cleansing my field. So that's my experience. And to add to this, please never drink tap water, because really it's like poison to your system. Wherever you drink it, tap water is not made for drinking. It's charged with so much information, so much residues, so much residual energy from wherever it travels, especially in buildings. that, you know, you don't want to inform your system with that information. What I do when I travel and at home as well, even though I do have the option to install a water filter, I prefer to do something even easier. I have this water drops that I have from a pranic lady, a lady who is on prana since 2003. She is sending me these pranic drops. I call them pranic drops. It's called water for life. And I drop 5 drops in a liter of water, or in a jar. You know, when I buy a jar of water, I put these water drops who are restructuring the molecular structure of water. It's transforming it into pranic water, into its original perfect molecular structure. And that's nourishing me and cleansing my systems and healing my body. Has been, you know, I've been able to transition to a much lighter liquid diet since 2 years ago, since I'm drinking this. And plus, I can travel to any country and have water from anywhere. Of course, I buy it. I don't drink it from the ponds or anything. But with this, it really purifies and upgrades to a very high level the structure of water, and plus the texture of it is amazing. You know, it's really, really good. It's called Water for Life. Whoever wants it, just email me and I'm gonna mail to you, because I have some bottles left from the Pranic Festival. I always have this in Pranic festivals to give to people, because water is essential for life. Water is life. My email is in the chat box, and email me if you want some of this, because it's really, really good stuff. And um, I just get it from somewhere in Russia. Normally I get a larger package because all my friends want it. And if I have a few bottles left, I just deliver some to the people who ask for it. I'm seeing another question asking, the homes with copper tubing are better than normal ones. Copper, yes, I think water can be purified by copper and by holding it in copper vessels. I have friends who prefer to drink water from copper vessels generally. However, our systems are very different as humans. We come from different star systems. Even this is far-fetched to some. It's really not so much, because you must imagine that you not only live in this body, in this planet, you know, you come from all over the universe, and our systems are so different. So I prefer to say that to some copper is really good as energy, because everything is energy to me. So that's why I say the energy of copper to some is really good, and to some it can be a bit excessive. So for me, I wear a copper bracelet from time to time, but I can't wear it all day long and I can't wear it all the time. So I would personally not drink water all the time from a copper vessel, because from me specifically, it sometimes can be too much copper energy. So I only want a bit and not all the time. That's my answer for copper. What's the role of mitochondria and living without food? Is distilled water? I don't know about distilled water, because I still think so many people still need the minerals and stuff that water has, and I don't truly believe that water that is distilled can be good for everyone. But I must research more about it before I give a clear, good science-based answer. I personally don't drink distilled water. I want to answer the question of the one who is asking, what is the role of mitochondria in living without food? I have a video with a geneticist from the Resonance Science Foundation, whom I have just spoken to about pranic nourishment in one of our gatherings. We gather one time each month, and they have this free, this live interaction where I most of the times participate, I prefer to play that video as an answer for you, just because his answer is so well documented and so how to say, so much more accurate than I could provide, right? So I prefer to let the specialists talk in this situation, if you all agree. So is everybody okay with that? To play just another video for a little bit? I'm not going to be so much longer, but I still want to, I was thinking to offer this, and now that you've asked, it's even more important for me to do it. Yes. So let me share this. His name is William Brown. He's Nassim Harmeem's colleague. He's
receiving
specialist at the Resonance, geneticist at the Resonance Science Foundation. Very, very advanced in his research.
The necessary energy, vitality from other than food and in some cases even water. Which is quite fascinating when you think about the implications of that relative to the science here that is in theory. Is that anything that you have considered researching?
Oh yeah. Because actually, Nassim has a very particular interest in breatharianism. Because when he was living in the van and doing his advanced physics research, kind of formulating the first unified solutions to physics. During that time period, he wasn't eating food. He went
like 5 years.
Yeah. And I've seen pictures of him from that time, and he was very skinny. So I do not doubt at all when he says. I don't think he's exaggerating at all when he says he wasn't eating food. So it just, for him, he knows that this is a real phenomenon. He lived like that. That you can draw energy from the space memory network. From if you're thinking of it from the Eastern philosophical tradition. From the pranic field, and so. It's a particular research interest of ours because, okay, what is happening physically when that's being done? So i.e., what is the scientific explanation for this process? And actually, we think we have identified what's happening and where it's happening in the body, at the physical level. Physical energetic level, and it involves the mitochondria. When you're looking at the anatomy of the mitochondria, so the mitochondria are a subcellular organelle within every cell of the body, and the number of different things the mitochondria do, it's a long list. It's best known perhaps though as the energy producing organelle of the cell. So it's generating the adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which carries these high energy electronic bonds. Now, at the site of the production of that ATP molecule, there's some very interesting physics going on. You have this nanomachine, the ATP synthase, which is this huge macromolecular machine assembly. It's embedded in the inner membrane of the mitochondria. So the mitochondria have a double membrane structure. and the inner membrane is folded just like the sulci and gyri of the cortex of the brain. I don't think that's coincidental either, because in addition to being one of the energy producers of the cell, the mitochondria does function as the brain to a large extent. It coordinates myriad cell signaling cascades, orchestrating cellular behavior. And actually, some of the highest concentration of mitochondria in your body occur at the synapse of the neuron. I know I was just amazed one time looking at electron micrographs of brain sections where you can see the synapse of a neuron and it's just packed full of mitochondria. And I just remember thinking, I don't think that's coincidental, but it's just this like wonderful fractal structure because, if you look at that brain section, it's a sulci and gyri, highly folded membrane type structure of the brain. And you go inside at the molecular level, macromolecular level, and it's this highly folded inner membrane structure of the mitochondria. But so in that inner membrane, there's the ATP synthase. So some of the very interesting, let's say, physics occurring there is that ATP synthase is spinning. It's spinning extremely fast. It's actually been clocked at about 8,500 revolutions per minute. Now, for comparison, a jet engine spins about 10,000 RPM. So it's almost as fast as a turbine on the jet engine. Now, immediately that's pretty interesting to us because of the role that spin plays in physics processes. And so you have that spin, and what it's doing is it's pumping a proton plasma across the membrane. So now you've got these two elements that are coming together that are very interesting to us. You have a spinning plasma. Now one of the devices that Nassim is building, for instance, to couple to the vacuum structure, pull energy from it, or even to modulate the geometry of the vacuum structure of space, is a spinning plasma.
So I know that for some, this is super scientific facts, and not all of us are trained. I wasn't, for sure, back in the days where I wasn't researching this. Not every one of us is trained to encompass such information. Not all of us are interested in such scientific information. But for the ones who asked about mitochondria, I believe this is the best explanation that I got so far about mitochondria. And Nassim has also some videos of it, but I'm not going to search for them now. Just to say that the ATP is the one that is nourishing our cells, and the ATP is produced as we generate more melatonin, and the melatonin is produced when we meditate. So meditate. That's the key to pranic nourishment, being nourished by prana. Still your mind, because the mind is the highest energy consuming engine in our system. So the more we spend time in the alpha theta state, the more we are nourished. That's why meditation is so efficient on upward or pranic path. And most people that are on this path have been noticed to spend most of their day, I write about this in the book, have been noticed or measured to spend most of their day in the alpha theta state, mostly the theta state. So basically, it's like they hypnotize themselves into the daytime all day long. And even as I speak, my mind is completely kind of blank, and everything just flows. It's a flow of information. It's a download of information. That's why when you stop me, I can't really remember or go on with my phrase because it's not really coming from the mind. So that's the state of most pranic people the more advanced, the less they're using their mind during the day. Is that no mind state that we're talking about in all Asian traditions, and that's what helps us actually preserve and encompass more energy. Let's see if somebody is talking about, funny you mentioned this, I own the ark. I own the ark too. As you see, these guys are my friends. This is the ark the crystal that I received last year. No, in 2019, I had a conference at the Resonance Science Foundation, which is Nasimha Amin's academy, and in California. And at the end of the conference, one of their collaborators gifted me with this crystal, which is harmonizing and energizing the energy field. I just wear it occasionally now, but I love to have it around, especially when interacting with computers like this. So in case you need that, I can connect you with the guys at the Resonance Science, and I have a discount for my friends, so we can work like that. So thanks for bringing that up, Alexander.
If I can have a moment of your time, I think I can add something very valuable to you as an information to the group. We actually went through, you said that the information presented on mitochondria is very technical and very scientific. It's actually, it's actually very, very simple to understand. A guy living in the woods called Victor Schroberger, a man that lived as a woodcutter for the whole of his life. You can Google him. In fact, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. This guy looked at water and how water flew within a creek. And after, when he was 48 or something, he went down in Berlin and taught the guys at the university how to build water dams and water flows without affecting the rivers. This is the guy who invented resonance in water by first spinning it in vortexes. This is simple technology we can use to actually point to the subject of this conversation, to use prana in our bodies most effectively without any loss of energy by thought or by abusing the body. We are actually living in times that are most extraordinary because we can use technology nowadays. The yogis had to go through this ordeal of taming the body and the karmic processes in order to access enlightenment. We can do it via technology today.
I want to just add or even correct this for a bit.
Oh,
I'm still pledging here for autonomy. I'm not going to start polemics because it's not my style and my aim for today. But we are still to be autonomous. Technology, however advanced and beautiful it is, and I use it, as you see, I'm talking to you via computer, can always fail you. And sometimes when you're alone in the woods by yourself and with no Wi-Fi and no reception signal, as I've been these past 2 weeks at the beginning of the year, sometimes technology, you know, is not something you need to use. But to have the autonomy of controlling or mastering your own energy, having the inner technology function perfectly, and extracting free energy out of the vacuum system, the universe, or universal structure, however you want to call it, that's mastery. So I don't pledge for people and I don't invite people specifically, just because I'm now in this webinar as a facilitator, to use crutches in their lives until they learn to walk very, very well. They should do it themselves. Take the patience, the diligence, and sometimes the even struggle, if you will, to get there on their own 2 feet, walk perfectly, even dance, and then they can use whatever they want. For example, now I just purchased, I'm just receiving a nice frequency healing or frequency adjusting device called Healy. I'm going to present it at some point to you, where you just push a button and it regulates certain frequencies when you feel super tired, or you feel or for chronic pains, or for illnesses of various types. It is used in the medical system as well. It is used in yes, the healing machine. It is used in clinics outside our country and so on. So I'm gonna get it and I'm gonna utilize it from time to time. The same way I'm from time to time utilizing the arc crystal here that I received, right? But I know how to walk. If you leave me by myself in a forest or in a non-worm, house that isn't worm, how I spent some time a week ago, I'm gonna be okay without the technology. I know how to regulate my system. Either way, as I learn to walk, and I do it quite well now, and through hours and hours of daily practice, the same way the sages did, the same way the yogis did, I'm still having at least 4 hours of daily practice, or 5 or 6 or 8. I'm still having that. And yet I have some toys if I need them, because sometimes I travel through 4 or 5 airports in a week, or whole conferences with sometimes hundreds or thousands of people. It can be soliciting, my work. And I like the toys that humans have invented, but I'm not going to use them as crutches ever. And whenever I want to get back into my true state, I drop everything and I just use this. I know that everybody at this point is meant to evolve. And write to me if there's any other questions or things that you want to bring up. You can find me on Facebook with the name of Cristiana Eltrayan. You can find me on Instagram with the name of Eltrayan. You can find me on YouTube with the same name, Cristiana Eltrayan. And all my contact data of how you can reach me and ask questions, or tell me if you want to be in our events for you. Thank you so much. Yes, many things can be useful for your immune system, but especially when you tap into the pranic flow. That's the best thing, and that's available at no price, and it's beautiful. We're actually having immune system enhancing meditation each evening during the pranic process. That's how some people have been actually healed from the virus in 4 days while they have been with us in this process. I'm not saying that we're here to heal the virus. We're just saying that some have healed. So, yeah.
It's great to know the wonderful benefits that you have offered to the audience today. And it's a very nice program. 2 hours, it went very seamlessly. A lot of questions, interesting discussions on mitochondria, importance of water. It's phenomenal. And of course, the world is going towards free energy and how to use that energy that is available everywhere. And this is an eye-opener for all of us who are new to this system. Thank you, Cristiana.
Thank you, Veena. Much love to you. You're doing a wonderful work. Thank you for making this available for people, and hope to collaborate with you.
Yeah, sure, definitely. We are going to take it forward. And do subscribe to PyramidTimes and also Cristiana's channel. It's all available on YouTube. And do visit her website, soulhealingacademy.com. There are events and a lot of free information on pranic nourishment festivals, and a lot of other stuff is there, blogs and articles. Please do refer to them. Yeah.
They have to all. Thank you, PyramidTimes. Thank you for the audience and everyone who's here. And looking forward to see you 2 days from now at the Pranic Process Online, the training that we begin together. Much love to all. See you soon.
Yes.